Hello. If you've been watching Polly's Paint Box all year, you've heard a lot about shapes, haven't you? Well, today we're going to be doing many things with shapes, mostly geometric shapes. Do you know a very famous artist named Paul Klee has a beautiful painting done with shapes? Do you know what he calls this painting? Sun and Castle. Well, right away you can see the sun, can't you? But can you see the castle so easily? I see lots of triangular shapes and rectangular shapes and square shapes. Now you see the castle. Paul Klee was, we sometimes say a modern artist. This is a rather abstract work of art. But you know, all artists really think a lot about shapes. Here's a painting by Edward Hopper. And look, he has many shapes in it. He has a cone shape, square shapes, rectangular shapes, triangular shapes. So you see how important shapes are to people, particularly to artists. I have some forms here. Actually, can you see that this rectangular shape looks a lot like that lighthouse, or rather the house part of the painting? This is a rectangular shape. Now let's look at this one. I have another name for this because it's a square shape, right? But when you see it, the whole form, we call it a cube. You see, it looks like a box. And when we drew houses, we talked about the fact that a house is a big box. Another word for this is cube. Now let's see what else I have here. This shape. Do you know the shape? Of course, this is a form, but this shape of one side of it is what? It's a triangular shape. All right, let's see. I have another one. The top of that lighthouse, do you remember? Looked a lot like a cone. And of course, a cylinder shape too would go with the cone. All right, then I have one here. I think everyone knows. Looks like a ball. But there's another name. There's another name for this. And it's the same as this ball. Uh-oh, I dropped the ball of yarn and I was just...
Oh, Polly.
Oh, Cece, did I...
Look what I found here.
Uh-oh.
I was just dreaming, napping away, and all of a sudden, this fell on my head.
I'm sorry, Cece. I dropped that ball of yarn. I was just going to tell the school artist the proper name for it.
I could think of a few names to call it right now, disturbing my nap and all, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry I waked you up. Cece, I'll ask you the question.
Okay.
Do you know what this ball shape, the proper name for it is?
Let me see. A ball?
Well, that's all right to call it a ball, but the proper name is sphere.
Sphere. Oh, yes, sphere.
Right.
I knew it all the time.
And same thing. I mean, you could call it a sphere of yarn, couldn't you?
Oh,
But
yes,
usually we
yes,
say
yes.
ball of yarn. Well, since you're playing with ball of yarn, maybe you'd like to play a game, Cece.
Oh, yes, I love to play games.
Good. Let's play with the school artist, all right?
Okay.
Okay, if I hold this one up, tell me what it is.
Looks like a refrigerator with no door. Right?
All right. What shape?
Oh, it's a rectangle. Yes,
All right,
recognize
this
it
is
now.
rectangle. This is a rectangle, solid, because it's solid. See, it takes up space. All right. Let's see. Do you know this one?
Oh, yes, that is a square or a cube. Right?
All right. It's like
I'm getting good. I love these games.
it's like a block, isn't it? Okay. Did you get that one? Cube. Okay. Let's see. How about this one?
Oh, let me see. That's a triangle, right?
Okay, this part right here is a triangle, right? But when we have it in this whole form, we call it a, oh wow, pyramid.
A pyramid. Oh,
Pyramid,
yes,
yeah.
pyramid. Yes.
Did you know
yes.
that's called a pyramid? But we're talking about triangles right now. Oh, here's one. This way. If I turn it this way, can you guess?
See, it looks familiar.
Well, let me do this.
Oh, it looks like ice cream cone.
Right, you guessed it too, didn't you? Uh-oh, Cece, I guess I'll probably have to get you some ice cream now.
Well, that would be nice.
Do you know if you have half of a ball, what's it called?
A hemisphere.
Fine, that's just great. Now, these are forms. After we've done forms, let's talk about shapes now, because that's what leads to our project for today. This shape, a rectangular shape. This shape, this is very much like the shape we see on the freeway. And what was it? Square. And this one, a round shape, and triangle. And then, of course, Cece, I'll let you do this project too. I'll give you a sheet of paper and several shapes.
Okay.
And let's see what you can do with this project. You just move them around and you make a pleasing design, Cece.
All right, I think I want to make a cat. How about that?
Oh, all right, you may have a little bit of trouble because these shapes are not exactly the shapes of a cat, but I think you can do it. Let's look at the school artists. They certainly did some great things with their shapes. First of all, I think this 4th grade school artist did a good job with this girl. She wanted to do a lady with shapes. And then we have another one. Oh, I really think that's a castle. It really makes me think of Paul Clay's castle. And then, of course, I want you to look at the shapes made with tempera painting, because actually these are shapes too. And on my other bulletin board, I have a child's work of art. Oh, that's a perfect flower and a butterfly made with geometric shapes. The next one were what we call free form shapes. And of course, this is very abstract work of art by a school artist. And then I like this one, this bottom one. Looks like a factory, doesn't it? So this should give you an idea of what we're going to do today. Now, I've given Cece a sheet of construction paper, and you know it's non-fade construction paper. It's a lovely color on one side and it's white on the other. And actually, it doesn't fade for quite a long time. You all have always had trouble, I'm sure, with your construction paper fading. But we still enjoy it when it's all bright. Now, let's look at this construction paper that I have here. I'm going to show you what you can do if you have to cut out the shapes. First of all, this shape is rectangular. Now, how would you cut a square? To make sure you have a perfect square, all you have to do is take your rectangular piece of paper and fold it right at the corner, and be sure you line it up right along the side. Then take your scissors, and you can take any rectangle and make a square by lining it up in this manner. You have to fold it right on the square. Now, before I open this up, what shape is this? Right, a triangle. When I open it up, right, I have a square. Now, how could you make a round shape? Well, you can cut a very nice round shape by doing this. Fold it again, then fold it yet again, and of course we have another triangular shape. Fold it again, and this gets kind of hard to cut, so you may want to do this with lighter weight paper. And then fold it one more time. Remember when we had a cone? Then at this point you cut this to look kind of like a cone. Just curve it slightly. Do you think I'll have a round shape? Let's see. It won't be a perfect round shape, but it will be almost round. So if you're trying to cut a round shape, this is one way to do it. Another thing you can do is to take something and draw around it for your round shapes. Now your teacher perhaps will get all of these shapes ready for you to use, or perhaps she'll let you get them ready for the art class. After you get your various shapes, then let's see what kind of a project you can come up with. Let me see. CC said he was going to see if he could make a cat. How are you doing, CC? Are you getting a cat out of yours?
Well, I don't know right now. I'm having just a little bit of trouble, but I think I'm going to get it here.
Okay, CC. Now let me see. I have a rectangle here, and I have a round shape. And for this project, you might just want to, doesn't have to be any certain thing. It can be abstract art. Let's see, I need a cone. Have to turn that cone over so it'll show up. And perhaps a square. I have a round shape, I have a rectangle shape. You got everything, didn't you, CC? You had a triangle, didn't you, CC?
I'm trying to use that for the ears here.
Oh, that's a good idea. And then, let's see, if you have a lot of these long rectangular shapes, then you can do a lot of different things with that. This is really a good project. I think the school artists will probably come up with something delightful, because the important thing is move them around, play with them, see what you can make. You don't have to make a house, or you don't have to make a cat. How's your cat, CC? Is it coming?
Oh, it's coming along pretty good. I have his ears in here, and there's his eyes. They're a little slanted. Look like a Siamese cat.
Oh, CC, I think you're enjoying this project.
Oh, yes, they're fun to move around.
All right. I doubt if CC will be able to glue them down, but that's the next thing. After you decide on your pleasing design, and as I said before, it doesn't have to be a certain thing. It could be a house, or it could be a person. Let's see, CC suggested that I make mine a woman. Is that what you said, CC?
I don't remember that. Maybe I did.
All right. Anyway, you take your glue, and you can glue it on the back, and it probably would be a good idea if you worked with your glue away from your paper. And I believe, CC, that I won't ask you to glue yours down.
Oh, good.
But there, you can put just... Do try to be careful and not use too much glue. Just putting them down. Oh, here's mine. I think mine looks a little bit like a woman. What about yours, CC?
Oh,
Did you
yes.
finally make a cat?
Yes, almost. I have him going. This is so much fun moving these around like this. I like this. You have to use your imagination.
That's right. Use your imagination and have fun with this project. Okay, now let's see. I do have a woman, I think.